You have the minutes. You have the minutes from the last two meetings, the regular meeting to June and the special meeting you had. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? Okay, hearing none, I wait for motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? So carried. Next item is fuel bids. Did we get a lot?
Mirabito and Reese-Marshall.
Oh, really?
You want to start opening?
This
We have one. I'll figure it out. I figured it out. You don't think it's good?
She said she didn't hear me back home and just left it, so.
Cat filters to the board.
I figured it had to be yours.
Gifts for us? You brought gifts for us?
Yeah. Cat filters. Come on, you do that.
I got these. Okay, we got from Reese-Marshall and Mirabito. We'll do Reese-Marshall first. Okay, we're gonna go by the differential factor. So for kerosene for this building and a firehouse, cost will be 17 cents over the posted tank price. Chart.
I'm sorry, who was that? That's
Reese-Marshall.
Reese-Marshall.
That's kerosene for the building. For fuel oil for the highway barn, it's 17 cents.
How much?
17. Service plans, $219 each. Unleaded gasoline, 17 cents. And diesel, 17 cents.
It's still been 17.
And for the winter mixed diesel, it'd be 17 cents. Okay, Mirabito. Diesel, 0.1576.
Can you call that 16 cents?
For heating kerosene, 0.1676. For unleaded gas, 0.1564. For the kerosene that they mix with the diesel, 0.1576. Oh, fuel oil, 0.1676.
You got a service plan, Charlie?
They did not include it on the-
Cheryl?
on the-
No, that's
They usually have them, but
Yep.
wait a minute, hang on, let me look into it. So attached is a copy of our service plan, hang on. You can go with the value plan for $149.95. For the top plan is $289.95.
That's times 3, right? We have 3 prices?
Times 4.
4.
We have 2 at the highway barn, 1 here and 1 at the firehouse.
No bid on Carol.
On what?
Kerosene?
Kerosene. .1676.
It's the same as fuel.
Seem to get more difficult every year, don't they?
They bounce back and forth. It looks like Mirabito is under by fractions of a cent in some cases. Well, by fraction, yeah, it was fractions of a cent. And the only question would be on the service contract. The economy service contract is lower than Reese-Marshall, and the Cadillac is higher. I'd say we'd have to look at that, decide what we want to do.
Are there any other bases for choosing one or the other? I mean, assuming they were equal, which they practically speaking are, is there a reason to choose one over the other?
In any situation like this, if we'd had problems with service from any of them, we've not had that. So
Better
therefore,
service from some, I don't know.
we
Say
had,
they're equal.
at one point, we did have some problems. This was back several years when the company did, and they let us go dry a couple times. They didn't have the product to deliver and didn't deliver it, so that was a problem. But this is not true with either of these companies. So I mean, you can go strictly by the amounts that are here. And in that case, it would be Mirabito. And the largest quantity of what we buy probably is what, diesel? And that's a penny and a fraction less with Mirabito than it is with Reese-Marshall. I mean, it's either 17 cents over the product cost at the dockside for diesel with Reese-Marshall and 15.76 cents for Mirabito, so it's almost 16 cents. It's about a penny difference
Yeah.
per gallon.
Bill, do you have any reason to prefer one over the other?
Been happy with the performance of both.
That's not helpful.
So, you know, if you're going cost-wise, you know, the service between either one has been, you know, good, response.
How about timely?
Timely, yeah.
They both have 24-hour response, service if you need it. And Mirabito comes out of Oneonta and Reese comes out of Sherburne, I think.
Dartmouth.
Is there any value in splitting them up? I mean, I don't think there's any difference with respect to kerosene or fuel oil. You know, it's 1676, as Bob said.
It's better to stay with one
Is it?
vendor than split it up.
You know, they've got more incentive to conduct a better
To
service.
keep bidding if you get another one. There was one time we only had one bidder for years,
Oh, that was easy.
Yeah.
and we paid a lot more than we're paying now
Yeah.
for over the differential.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion from anybody.
Looks like we're having
I know Keith is affiliated with Reese-Marshall. Keith would the figures are there, so we go by those. And again, if we had.
Well, there is the aspect of trying to keep as much local business as possible local without costing the town a fortune.
Yeah,
Neither one are local, they're
Right.
both out of country.
I mean, that's the only local connection
Yeah.
is for the region.
okay, I would entertain a motion then for Mirabito, and let's see how that flows. Anybody care to make a motion to award the bid for this to Mirabito?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
One of the things is Mirabito is always bringing fuel here to the grocery store, so they're always in town all the while anyway.
Well, then it should give us even bigger breaks since we come this way anyway.
Okay, I'm waiting for a second. Hearing none, do I hear a motion to give the bid to Reese-Marshall?
Yeah, I'll move.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I'm opposed.
I'm opposed.
I have no say.
Ed, did you vote?
I voted in favor.
Of
Reese-Marshall.
Reese-Marshall, okay. So that's 3-2 for Reese-Marshall. So, on what basis do we award to them in as much as they're slightly higher than Mirabito, and we have to justify that to Mirabito?
Local connection.
That's not gonna do it.
Well,
It has to be a valid reason.
I think that is valid.
Yeah, I mean, what is a valid reason? If a valid reason is only price, then there's no point in even discussing it. It's.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Usually, in a case like this, you would have as reason to not award to the low bidder would be experience in the past of failure to give us proper service, failure in some way that the product is inferior or whatever, but to just say because of a local connection, my best guess is that it wouldn't go. Mirabito could come back at us and say, that's not sufficient, and I don't know.
I think we should have discussed this further before the vote.
Okay.
Usually you
Yeah,
select the lowest
right,
bidder
right,
unless you have
right,
a reason otherwise.
Yeah. So, well, anybody have any thoughts on this other than to rescind the previous motion? I mean, I personally don't care, but it's, and I understand the local connection.
I think that if we're gonna be embarrassed by not being able to explain it adequately, then we should
Well,
rethink this.
yeah.
Then we need to rethink this.
Okay,
So I would move to rescind the motion, to rescind the vote.
okay. Do I have a second then? To rescind it? If not, it fails. So we're going to go with Reese-Marshall, and I will appoint the 3 people who voted for Reese-Marshall to respond to Mirabito when they come at us. If they do.
Yeah, if it were even 2 or 3 cents.
Yeah.
I would say, a penny a gallon.
Right,
Is really
but
nothing.
how many gallons are we talking, sir?
Well, let's ask, how much money are we talking about then?
Do you remember we did that?
Well,
last
if you
year?
want to sit and figure out, I figured out what we spent, or how many gallons we used last year, if you want to
Just
sit
for
and
diesel?
multiply.
Just-
Just do diesel.
I didn't do million, I just did gallons,
Okay.
just plain diesel, but you gotta remember that
Winter mix.
there's also a winter mix diesel, so 8,853 gallons was just plain diesel.
8,000.
So you're talking about $88.
But then you have 5,000 gallons, which were the winter blend, so you're talking like 13,000 gallons.
$13,130.
Yeah, okay. It doesn't appear to make a lot of difference, and the others are that close that it's not even a penny difference in some cases.
It might be, it'll be less than $1,000 difference.
Yeah.
And the service contract with Reese-Marshall would be less, or depending on what we got. I assume that the service contract with Reese-Marshall is probably more like the Cadillac versus
Yeah.
We were using Reese-Marshall this year.
No,
We used Mirabito this year, and so there was that would be if Reese-Marshall was to continue with them, that would be a reason to overcome the difference in price. But,
Well,
okay,
there's, this may not be technically correct or politically correct, but I don't care. The fact that local connection is substantial in that the entire family is heavily involved in emergency services. And, you know, I for a penny a gallon, to throw some business that way, I
okay,
think is wise.
right. Well, we had the opportunity to rescind the vote, that didn't happen. So we will go more to the bid to Reese-Marshall and see what happens. Okay, next. Oops, we lost our plan.
We didn't get the minutes for the planning board meeting because the fax machines broke and she faxed and they didn't come, but they did approve it with no conditions.
Okay.
And the only,
The only
Question.
extra was I gave you a paper which was emailed to me from Rima. I got it after the meeting and I was in Oregon, so obviously I didn't get it to them. But she had some comments.
the most significant one, I thought, was the fact that there's some wetlands involved, but there's enough property there. If building were to be a question they wanted to build on, that there's enough space to put a building on without infringing on the wetlands. And since the planning board did refer it to us, recommend it to us,
Colleen, do you know if there were any issues that were addressed by the planning board?
I asked her and she said no, I
Just
didn't have any,
okay.
I didn't have any concerns.
Okay, you see any issues from, if they want to build on that small lot, no driveway issues there?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh. Well, in that case, you don't see any issues, do
The
you?
question is, you know what you're doing.
corner of Allen Road.
Across from Susie Conklin's former log cabin there, she's subdividing that little piece on the other side of the road from the rest that's on the side of the house.
No, I'm fine.
But she doesn't have that driveway indicated on it anyway, does she?
Well, she wasn't planning on
She
doing
doesn't-
anything at this
Yeah,
point.
there was no mention of a building.
They would have to get approved by building
Right.
driveway.
That's right.
anyway,
I'm
so
just thinking, if
it's-
they're gonna do anything with that lot, they have to put a driveway, but it's straight
Yeah.
here, and
Right.
there's a lot of room here.
Yeah, I know where it is, so it's,
Where's the wetland on here?
see that duck?
That green thing down in the corner.
Oh, up here, okay. Oh, that's way up in the end then.
Yes.
Okay,
I think that's a mallard, isn't it?
if there are no questions, I would accept a motion to approve the recommendation from the planning board.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
So,
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It's okay. And Susie left. Okay, highway business, sir.
Okay, we got the truck there last week Tuesday. Did you guys have a chance to take a gander at it?
I did.
It
You don't
looks
have that
pretty.
bridge fixed yet, but I can't get to it.
What, you don't have it?
You need a step ladder to get up into it.
I had a question for you.
Do you?
I have one claim bag ticket.
Oh, yeah.
You interested in that?
Is it on a Saturday?
Tomorrow.
Where?
Norway.
Kennesaw Country Club.
Oh, no, I can't make
You're turning down a claim bag
it.
ticket?
Yeah, I hate to do that too. And I eat frequently at Kennesaw, and I like their
Well,
food.
this is outdoors and wild.
And,
It's good plan, Dave.
I hate to see it go to waste because it's a $45 ticket.
No, now he's gonna clear his schedule.
No, yeah.
Yes,
Did you put down this stuff on the back road, around the detour?
over here on the bridge, yes.
Okay.
They weren't supposed to spray the bridge.
No, but I mean the dark, the dirt road.
Dust
Right.
oil.
Yeah.
Not the whole thing, though.
No.
And my feeling is that the county board should really, what we have is a detour, as you found out.
Yeah.
And my feeling is that the county highway department probably should give us some
Do the next
dust
round of
control.
dust oil, okay.
We did in front of the houses on that road, but
There's Miss Conklin now, you can give her the
It's all
good news
done.
in person.
we didn't say, yes.
Yeah.
Byron, you did want to go home, right?
Yes, you'll get a letter saying it's approved, and then you'll have your 62 days to get it filed. Okay.
Okay, thank you for coming. Did you bring enough donuts for everybody?
No.
Tom, you can't have your donuts.
Do I look like I need your donut?
Anyway,
You might not want him to answer that.
now that we have possession of this other truck, I would like to surplus the old 1960 Oshkosh. Probably, I'm guessing the thing weighs close to 10 tons. So if we're going to surplus it, we probably ought to have a minimum value of like $2,000. And if somebody
Scrap
doesn't,
value?
scrap value.
Okay.
I don't think we get that from anybody as a used vehicle.
No, the other thought is we can put it on the lawn and,
Like flowers around
town
it?
to Lisbon highway.
I don't want to be listening to
I'll
this.
save it as a
And you're
antique.
off for half an hour.
It certainly is antique.
Is there any, at one time you advanced the possibility of having some value as of.
Yeah, yeah, happens every once
I
in a
know.
while.
That's what they.
Markup on everything was dropped off.
I can see now.
What?
And we have an old 1,000-gallon water tank. I wondered if you wanted to surplus that. We used to carry it around in the back of the dump trucks, but it's,
Can you load that on the Oshkosh?
well, I was thinking loading Sanders on the back of that.
Oh.
And taking the whole kit and caboodle at once.
What kind of shape's the water tank then? Is it usable as a water tank?
Not for regular, but if you wanted to store water for gardens or that kind of thing, yes, you could. It would be feasible to do that.
What do you figure that way?
That's right, they get mixed up
Oh my
anyways.
gosh.
Is it metal tank or plastic?
It's metal tank, it's probably about 800 to 1,000 pounds.
Really?
Yeah. Like you say, they used to carry it around the back of the dump truck and use it to apply water when they were sweeping the roads. But we have that water tank on that 10-wheeler army truck,
Right.
and, which I was using today, to spray Gardner Town Road to sweep.
So you want a motion to surplus the Oshkosh and
Perhaps that water tank.
perhaps the water tank?
Yep.
Okay, do I hear a motion to surplus the Oshkosh and the water tank?
Yes, I'll make a motion.
Is there a minimum value you want to put on the tank too? Or what's your
Minimum
minimum value?
value on the truck.
No, we-
Right.
Yeah.
The only reason you put a minimum value on the truck would be to, if you wanted to resell it. And the chances of that happening are, it would
Well,
be.
if somebody gives you $500 for a truck, and then you'll drive it right over and scrap it for
Right, right.
2,000, I'll do it.
Well, the bad part about scrapping it, it does have a nice running Cummins diesel into it. And it does have 4 Prittner new tires on it. That would be the sad part about just scrapping it.
You can take the tires off and.
Well, if you took it to the scrap yard, they would pull the tires off.
They may make money on it. Well, what is the wisest thing to do? Pull the engine and haul it over?
Well,
What are you gonna put the engine in? Is it just gonna have an engine
Find
separate?
somebody that wanted it.
yeah.
Is it international?
No, it's a Cummins. It's the 855 natural aspirated 250.
So, yeah. I think you just wind up with an engine sitting around the yard, coming to us in a year saying you want to surplus the engine. Probably, right?
Well, so, you
You
know.
don't think there's somebody who'd want to buy a truck?
Well, and it's possible that Patterson Equipment, he buys those trucks, used to buy them for parts and that kind of stuff. And, you know, if somebody needed axles and that kind of stuff for the old ashes that are still in service, they're positive drive axles or locking differentials. So they're, you know, parts vehicle, there's some value to it.
Well, there's no rush, we don't have to do all this thing tomorrow.
No, it's just tying up a bunch of room in the shed.
Yeah, but maybe we should take some
Can we
time.
enter the demo every year?
That would scare people.
Maybe we should take a little bit of time and offer it for sale and see if somebody wants to buy it before we just.
We could probably do that.
Oh, when we allow him to get rid of it on surplus, there's no time on it. That means he can do.
Okay, but then,
As long as he gets at least 2,000.
At least
but then we ought to,
2,000.
yeah, we ought to do, as you suggested earlier, and that's put a minimum bid
Yeah.
and see what happens.
So I make a motion, we surplus the Oshkosh not to be let go for under $2,000. And you can
$2,000.
If
dispose
it's
of
sold.
it part by parts or
Yeah.
as a single entity or however.
I would be opposed to parting it out piece by piece. I think that would be a disaster for us. It can run and get down to the